So, is it even possible to become a millionaire for a farmer, an actual farmer, just a usual casual guy outside there, someone who hasn't born in wealth, someone who hasn't had money passed down their family lane? Is it even possible for you to become properly rich, become a millionaire in farming? Now, I want to tell you guys that it's 100% possible. Yeah, I personally, I wasn't born in wealth. In fact, I can tell you that I was born in poverty. I wouldn't say proper absolute poverty, nothing like we didn't have food, but there was no privileges. Yeah, nothing nice, nothing out of the normal. I mean, just have food every day and usual food. I can tell you that when I was younger, I would have meat, anything that's meaty, twice a year. Yeah, most probably twice a year. One on the Easter celebrations and one on the Christmas celebrations. That's it. Yeah. Now you can understand what level we're at. I was just from school for tuition on multiple occasions. So I didn't grow up from wealth. My parents didn't have, money. My parents didn't have any form of sensible wealth. But last year with Farm Up, we did over $1 million USD. Yeah. So when I talk about millionaire, I'm talking about a millionaire in US dollar, not in my local currency or any other local currency outside there. I'm talking about a millionaire in USD. Yeah. And we did over $1 million in revenue from the funds. Yeah. So if it's about utter possibility, is it even just possible? I want to tell you that it's possible. But in today's video, that's not just the simple question. Yeah. I want to explain to you why a lot of people actually think it's not possible, how a lot of people mess up and prevent themselves from getting to the millionaire status, and what you can change about it to ensure that you can get there. So stick around right through to the very end of this video. So I'll tell you the first thing that I personally noticed about wealth. Wealth is a mindset. It's a mindset. It all starts from your mind. And if you're going to become wealthy, if you're going to make over $1 million from your farm, then you have to start from a mindset change. It's just like making $1 million in engineering or making $1 million in anything else. Yeah, it all starts with the mindset. You've got to actually believe that actually 100% possible for you to make it and to get to that point. If you don't believe it, if you don't think it's possible, then you're not going to look at the opportunities that present themselves before you as an actual opportunity that can get you wealth. Yeah, and if you're placed in a position that is probably a path that's going to lead you towards $1 million, you won't believe it. You won't even take it as a possibility because in your mind, it's not possible. So you need to first create the mindset that it's freaking possible. So I'll tell you guys how I actually did it. For me personally, when I was starting out 5 years ago, when I was starting Farm Up, just coming up with the brand name Farm Up was because I knew it in my head that it's actually possible that I could do over $1 million. Yeah. Now, it feels like, that could be a big number if you're thinking about yourself and how much you've made and how much you've been able to make. It could feel like it's a big number for you right now, but I want to tell you that it's actually nothing. Yeah. It's actually nothing. There's way more that you can do than more than $1 million. For me right now, I feel like I haven't started, honestly. I feel like I haven't started. At a particular point, I was saying to myself, maybe I should pause and go into some other line of business. But now I do realize that the potential is limitless and I feel like I haven't started. Yeah, completely not started. And that's simply a mindset shift. It's simply a belief in my head. So if you don't believe that you can actually make $1 million USD from a farm, then you're never going to make it. Yeah, you need to start with a mindset shift. Now the second thing is that a lot of farmers don't set up their farms like $1 million businesses. Yeah, they don't set up their farms like $1 million businesses. For example, you want to invest in the farm, you want to set it up, you want to get to the very top, but then you set it up you're setting up your own backyard farm, just like something in your house. Yeah. Now, if someone told you that you have to set up $1 million business to do something, there are particular things that most probably you would do to be able to ensure that you get to that point. Yeah. What are some of those things that you would do? Number one, first of all, you would make sure that you understand exactly what you're doing. You wouldn't, go into farming like you're going into, I don't know, like someone has just sent you to sell stuff at a shop. You wouldn't, yeah? You would set in place systems, you'd set in place the things that ensure that you succeed. But how would you even know about these things? Number one, you would want to make sure that you understand exactly what you're doing. For me personally, when I was starting out, at that particular point, I didn't have knowledge, yeah? I didn't have knowledge, guys. It's not like I was raised in a farming background. I completely wasn't raised in a farming background. But I knew that certainly there's some form of discipline and there's some form of knowledge that's required for you to get to this level where you're actually setting it up as a proper business. Yeah. So I spent loads and loads and loads of time trying to learn and read and discover everything that I could about actually starting a farm and running a farm and making money from poultry farming. At that particular time, there wasn't a lot of information. I mean, I had to read and read a lot of books. I mean, at that point, I was still working as a doctor, but I would spend hours, hours each and every day. My colleagues at work would see me, in between working on clients, I would be on my phone, reading books, PDFs about starting farms, about poultry farming and all this kind of stuff. And even though the information was scanty, I mean, looking right now at what I know and the information that I've gathered, and I'm seeing what I was reading then, I'm like, what the hell were these guys even writing? But well, that's the best information I could get at that particular point. And despite the fact that it wasn't the best, it set me up in one way or another for a better experience than someone who hasn't experienced anything. Now, of course, because of my lack of knowledge and my knowledge gap, in the end, I still lost quite an amount of money. I mean, with my second batch of chickens, I lost over $14,000 simply because I didn't understand exactly how to do it. Now, because of that, I lost a lot of money. But at least I put in some form of effort. Now, I can tell you, of course, there was a bit of luck, there was a bit of hard work in all those things, but, well, I still made it. Now, there's a lot of people who actually haven't made it. There's a lot of people who have tried, and then because they try, but they do it the wrong way, and then they give up and fail, they're like, hey, farming is catastrophic. Farming is one of those things where you can't make a lot of money. And just like, there's millionaires in literally every business. There's millionaires in restaurant business, for example. Loads and loads of millionaires, billionaires, even in restaurant business. But restaurant business is one of like those worst businesses you can start, yeah? So because of that, that just serves to show you that you can make it work anywhere as long as you understand how to do it. The people who have become millionaires and billionaires in restaurant business have just gotten the blueprint of how to actually start and make restaurant businesses succeed. They could fail at one, start another one in another place, and they'll succeed. They could close one, go to another country, start another, and they'll succeed because they just know how to do it. But just think about how many people you actually know personally who have started restaurant businesses and they have failed. You can't count them, yeah? You personally probably have even tried one and it has failed, yeah? So just due to the fact that people succeed, that means there are things that need to be done for you to succeed. Same exact thing when it does come to farming, yeah? There are things that need to be done for you to succeed, and you need to discover what those things are. You need to look out for knowledge. You need to understand how to actually manage a farm, how to actually run a farm, and, decrease your chances of failure. For me personally, when I was starting out, I invested quite an amount of money in my farm. Yeah, it was quite an amount. I mean, for the very first batch, I remember it was 9,000 USD that I had saved up. I think by the time my birds got to production, I had spent about, close to 10,000 USD. Yeah. Now, when I was starting out, of course, I didn't start with 10,000 USD in my pocket. I started with smaller chunks, and I would use my salary and all that kind of stuff. At a particular point, I even had to borrow money to make the farm work, to make it go ahead. But I mean, I'm glad it's an investment that I made. I'm glad it's a sacrifice that I actually undertook, and it has ensured that I get to this point. But you actually have to invest money. You have to save up money. You have to invest money. Now, after you've invested your money, you don't want your farm or your business to fail simply because you've done it the wrong way. Yeah? You want to do it the right way. So it is very, very important, super important that you set it up as a business and understand how to do it as a business. Now, besides that, the next thing is you need to set in place the systems that ensure you to run it as $1 million business. I've met a lot of people, yeah, and I've had a lot of people who keep asking me and telling me, hey doc, I don't understand how to make a farm work. How the hell do you make a farm work? Yeah? For them, it is very, very difficult to understand because they feel like for the farm to work, they have to be present. They have to be involved in the actual running and management of the farm. Guys, you can't do that with $1 million business. It's impossible, yeah? You can't. How are you going to supervise everything? How are you going to, individually supervise everything? You can do it with $1 million business, which is like an internet business because it doesn't require a lot of workers and things like that. But a farm requires a lot of labor force, yeah? You require, I have quite a number of workers. Just today, we've had a water problem on the farm. So we had our water supply cut off, and the guys had to put jerry cans on a tricycle, go quite some distance, to fetch water, then they come and pour it in the tanks. It has been quite some work. That's labor, yeah? Now, how the hell are you going to organize each and every one of those things yourself? So for you to get to the point where, you're doing quite an amount of money, you have a lot of people on the farm, you have a lot of work going on, you need someone to supervise this other area, someone to supervise the feed mixing. There is a lot of places where things could go wrong on the farm, yeah? And if you think to yourself that you're going to be doing it alone and you're going to be doing it yourself, then you're never ever going to make it completely. You won't make it. So you need to ensure that you understand exactly how to do the thing things, and that is by delegating, that is by setting in place systems that will ensure that you succeed and you do it the right way for you to be able to scale it. Yeah, for a business to scale, for you to be able to make enough money, for you to be able to, you know, handle everything, because $1 million business is not run like a home. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, you need a sales team, you need, you know, a transport team, I mean logistics, you need a production team, you need a manager, you have people who are going to be counting staff, you're going to have an accountant or something like that. You're going to need a team, yeah, and you need to understand how the hell you need to, you know, align those things. You need to understand how to manage the people. You need to understand how to set in place the correct systems, the correct people to do those things, yeah. So it is very important that you set it up the correct way as, I mean, $1 million business. The people who do fail at doing this are usually the people who end up failing. Yeah, they are usually the people who end up saying that, hey, you know, it's 100% not possible for you to actually make a farm work. It's not possible at all for you to become rich from poultry farming. But I mean, I've debunked that theory. I personally, like I've told you, I mean, I've been able to make great amounts of money from poultry farming, and like I've said, it's just the beginning. There is way more that I'm planning to make. There is way more that I believe is still coming my way with all the effort that I'm putting in. And then finally, I do have some amazing news for you guys. As you might already know, for a while, I've had the Farm Up Academy in the making. I mean, since like 2022, I've been trying to work on the Farm Up Academy, and finally it got ready. Recently, I've been running some master classes, you know, preparing you guys for the Farm Up Academy, and finally it is ready. It is right here. You know, I have quite a number of students who are already in, and I mean, the value inside there is absolutely insane. Yeah, it saves you from all the chaos of starting and failing and starting and failing. I mean, I've already talked about, you know, the number of times that I personally invested in my farm and fail, the amount of money that I personally lost. If I had this opportunity, I would jump for it without a thought. Yeah, completely. I would jump for it without a thought. Now, this is going to be an online academy. Initially, I'd considered doing, you know, a physical academy where I do get people to, you know, come onto the farm and, you know, we do training right here. But after doing a lot of research and, you know, finding out from a lot of you guys, I actually discovered that, first of all, a lot of you guys are not in Africa. Even those who are in Africa, you know, you have work, you have, you know, a lot of things to do. So it would be quite difficult for you to actually dedicate time to physically be present. But in addition to that, you know, the logistics of setting in place a physical place, a physical training area, and gathering everyone in the same time simply means that it would have been very, very expensive to set up, yeah, and quite tiresome to run. And also because I had been doing, you know, quite a number of consultations, not only in Uganda and all around the world, I understood the complicality of, you know, doing a physical academy. So what I decided to do is an online academy. So the Farm Up Academy has been made and it has been put online, and it is very beautiful, very, very beautiful. I mean, it includes all the information that you could have needed, all the information that you could have gotten physically, but better still, you do it at your own pace. And then, I mean, in addition to that, you know, you have all these templates. I mean, all the systems that I've been talking about that I utilize to run my own farm. So you can literally take it at your own pace. And like I said, it's ready. And in fact, right now, we do have an early bird discount. Yeah. So if you go in right now, and I mean, just click in the description. You're going to find a link in the description of how to actually join the Farm Up Academy. You'll get our early bird discount. It's going to be very beautiful for you. You're going to get great value. You're going to be part of a community of farmers to experience. Even if you already have a farm or you haven't started a farm, it's going to be very great for you. So just click right there and see you in the Farm Up Academy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell. Catch you very soon with another video. Lots of love. Bye-bye.